Hello. I think I've forgotten how to do this. Oh, where's my mic? Hold on a second. 1 second. I have forgotten how to do this. Where did my mic go? I have it plugged in, but I've misplaced it. And I was trying to do the Erica Kirk thing with my all black and my black hat. Mike, where are you? Here you are. Oh, I remember putting it there and thinking I'm going to forget that I put it there. You know, when you find a really good place for something and then you forget. Okay. How's it going, Patricia? Are you still here? Thanks for coming in. Lovely to see you. So let's see. You said, hi, whoever's there. I just wanted to see if the chat would work without the video starting. Usually the chat does work before the video starts. So to answer your question, and is this going to be good for sound? I have a whole new stand and everything. You know me, I'm always trying to up my game. Hey, Anna Bees, woohoo. Okay, now we can start. We've got it all. We've got you guys, and that's all I need. I'm going to have to put a little bit more wax on, wax off. So tell me how you've been. I'm so sorry. It's been like 3 days. I miss you guys like crazy. Crazy. And there's so much stupid stuff to talk about. And then there's some smart stuff to talk about. LOL, that's what I thought when you said that. Oh, there's stupid stuff and smart stuff. You ladies are so smart. I am not kidding you. I am so flattered that you come hang out with me all the time. You guys are the best. It makes me feel special. It really does. I know that sounds corny. And my apologies for being El Disgusto with my fingers in my mouth. Sometimes I feel like a toddler, like a little oral fixation. So, yeah, there's so much to talk about. I'm not kidding you, you guys. Where's my notes? I'm so excited to show you my notes. Did I just like wad it up and put it in the garbage? I think I did. Is this my notes? Yeah, this is my notes. I was like, why am I carrying this receipt? I'm going to just wad it up and put it in the garbage. That's my notes for today. You can't really see it, but there is writing on there. Is that so hilarious? So I've been working hard and hardly working. You're the best. No, you are. And now you say, no, you are. And then I say, you are. Okay. Okay. So, man, I've been walking so much, you guys. I love it. Like, you know, sometimes I get really tired when I walk, but I feel like I've been building up my stamina. So now I can walk like 3 hours in a day, even all at once. Like, it's exhausting to do 3 hours all at once, but I can do it. Like today, I took like 3 1-hour walks, and each one went so fast I couldn't believe it. I'm like, what? It's been an hour already? But I was on kind of a tight schedule, so I had to like squeeze it in where I could. And, you know, I'm usually listening to my videos while I'm walking, so then I can cover some material, but then I have to have a little notebook with me because, you know, I can't remember nothing. Okay, so first, before I forget, I got to tell you guys a good joke that I thought of that I bet you I'm the only person on the YouTube, maybe on the planet, that's thought of it, but you guys are going to love it. Maybe you've thought of it. You know how Donnie Toodles always says, like, you know, in a couple of weeks, I'll have that insurance plan for you in a couple of weeks, right? It's always in a couple of weeks. We'll see how the war is going in a couple of weeks. So right now with that Washington White House Correspondents' Dinner, he was like, we have to have it done within a couple of weeks. because, he's saying 30 days. We have to have it done within 30 days. There's no way in hell he's going to allow Caitlin Collins to get her award and the people who, Wall Street Journal that published the letter with his damn signature with the pubes. Now he wants to put his signature on our money, the pubic hair signature on our effing money. Can this guy just stop the nightmare already? He's just so effing crazy. Okay, everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, and learn something, be educational. All my videos are made for the tube of you. And it's an infotainment platform. Please make sure you're still subscribed. Share a video of mine with somebody that you think would like the channel. Turn on your notification bell to ring a ding ding. I got my thumb right here. I'm really excited about rearranging my stuff and putting up a brand new stand. So hopefully it's more sturdy, and so I won't be like bonking it and stuff. I'm on my chair. That's that one that I was using in front of the TV where I'm like on my knees and then my butt. Do you guys remember those chairs? They're probably called like ergonomic chairs or something like that. But they were like all the rage when they came out. And they are really comfortable. So I love it. I'm super comfortable. And I've got my tea. So Melania has a beehive in like a miniature White House. And all of the bees were harassing her hubby the other day. So look, I got my queen bee. And I'm thinking she's probably hoping he'll go into anaphylactic shock, right? It's probably her plan. I can't do it. I need to do your yoga. Because of the walking. I know. I'm so grateful to be able to walk because, a few years ago, I needed knee surgery and I got out of needing the knee surgery by doing my yoga and swimming, but I couldn't walk. So I'm really grateful to be able to walk. I mean, I could walk, but, I couldn't like walk for a long time. I could just walk regular just to get around. And I'm grateful for that too. I mean, my mom was bedridden for the last 3 years of her life. So it's really important to keep walking, keep moving. He is so horrible. Yeah, he's super duper horrible. And there was no way in hell he was going to let that White House Correspondents' Dinner go down. And I'm just like, you know how when people do a self-injurious gesture, they're not really trying to take their life, but that's a cry for help. I feel like that's what he's doing with these wackadoodle attempts. And it's just so ludicrous. He's such a freaking child. And that makes, no, he's not a child. Children are like honest and endearing. He's a freaking demonic pig. That's what he is. So I've been loving the Lego videos. I have been watching some of the news. I've been trying to keep up with it, but really I've been trying to just like chill and take care of myself and hang out with my family and do a lot of spring cleaning and stuff like that. Because, I'm 58 years old and I got to reinvent myself. So I want to just keep reinventing this. But, money, 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 money. And I keep saying I'm going to make my jewelry for you guys to purchase if you want. But today I had an idea, Anna Bees. And tell me what you think. Patricia, if you're still here, you might really like this idea. I was thinking maybe I'd sell little kits of earring, everything that you need with the instructions to make your own pair of earrings. Because everybody likes to make jewelry, right? So I just thought that might be even more fun than buying jewelry. Yes, I can't walk for a long time. At work, I don't usually have a problem. It hurts a bunch, but it's walking and stopping, so it's not like really walking. Oh, yeah, being on your feet all day is the worst. It really is. It sucks. And that's how I blew out my knee, is I was working 8-hour shifts where I wasn't allowed to sit down. It was it was probably what, like, I have to think of the ages of the kids. It's probably like 8 years ago, and I was, working at a front desk at a hotel, and I was on my feet 8 hours a day, like, literally. I mean, I'd sit down to go to the restroom, and that was it. And then so my knee blew out, and then I got a note from my doctor to sit on a stool, and then, like, my butt hurt from sitting on the damn stool. I'm just like, yeah, being in one place like that just sucks. Like, people who are cashiers, with, like, the carpal tunnel, and, we had one of those mats, I think. I can't even remember. I liked doing it. It was a fun job. And, I've just tried to flex my career around my kids. So that's why I have to reinvent myself, because after you've been doing that, you don't just hit the ground running and get right back into your profession. So I'm really thinking about getting a doctoral degree. A couple years ago, I'd applied, or more than a couple years ago, because I applied 3 years in a row for a doctoral in like global peace strategies, actually was the name of the program at Notre Dame University. And lately I've been thinking about doing something like what Veriscope does. If you're familiar with Veriscope, right, Annabise? You've watched some of his videos. I want to be him. I love what he does. Oh my God, he's the best. So, forensic linguistics, like, that would be so cool. I've done a lot of court work and, providing expert testimony for, like, PTSD and such. So I'm thinking that would be really cool. And I got the court cases here in Ohio that I'm trying to stay focused on, and it's hard because there's not much going on with them. Like, Caleb Flynn's trial was supposed to start today, and it's been so many days since my last video, I haven't been able to update you guys that they got a continuance, and so they're going to have a hearing on Thursday the 7th, but the trial was supposed to start today. I mean, I kind of knew that it wouldn't. I mean, I didn't think it would. I was hoping it would, but it just didn't seem realistic. I don't know. I really think with both of those cases that they're going to do plea agreements, but we'll see. You just never know. So I texted you about my second to last video being blocked. It's the first video I've ever had blocked. And it's the first one where I was in front of the TV and playing the Nora Lawrence interviewing Trump. And, I was breaking it up a lot. So it's like fair use, interjecting and making it my own video, putting my own creative content before it, during it, after it. Them's the rules. And then I did those two videos of Sheila Zolnor breaking down the ridiculous manifesto. And so that whole 2 hour, I think it was like 2 hours and 15 minutes, is blocked. So I was able to watch it again. So I've watched it twice. I think it's really worthwhile. And I'm thinking of how I can make a video with that in it. So like I could read the transcript, but when I made that video a few days ago, I think that was Thursday, I said, it's weird that nobody's breaking down the interview. Like, why am I the only one doing it? So I think I have the answer to that question. I bet a lot of channels have done it and been blocked. I betcha. because that interview, he just like fell flat on his face. Not just when he said, "I'm not a rapist, not PDF." Not just then, but the whole entire time. It was great, wasn't it? Oh my goodness. Out of control. He is so horrible. Yeah, Anna Bees, do my yoga with me. I would love that. We could do it on Zoom together. No joke. Wouldn't that be cool? If you wanted to, I'd be happy to do that. Let me know. I mean, I don't know how, but we'll figure it out. I've done Zoom before, but not for yoga. Yes, I can't walk for a long time at work. I don't usually have a problem. It hurts a bunch. Okay, I read all that. Little Kit, sound good. Yes, I watch Periscope. Yeah, isn't he the best? I love everything about him. He's just so cool. And he's so smart and he's so damn unpretentious. I could just kiss him. Right? I mean, a lot of people that are that smart and that cool just think they're all that in a bag of chips, and there's nothing worse. He is truly a gem. Yes, that's true. Yes, it was a good one. No way. I don't want you to see me. Oh, you're so cute, Anna Bees. I love his voice. I know, I do too. I love he's very calming and soothing, like the pace that he speaks at. I used to speak really quickly in my videos because I felt like I needed to keep people's attention so they didn't switch the channel, like get to the point, get to the point. And then I try not to talk that fast anymore, but I realize that the videos that I like to listen to, because you can listen to them on time and a half so that you can listen to more videos in a day or watch more videos in a day. But it makes me feel stressed out. I want to listen to someone's voice that is calming and soothing and that is intelligent and thought-provoking and all that good stuff. But yeah, I was very shy about getting on camera to do yoga for sure. Absolutely. Like Deception Detective. He's pretentious and he's terrible. He doesn't know what the F he's talking about. Wasn't he the one that it was either NK or Scammy or both that he said like, oh yeah, they're fine. They're not withholding any information. They're trying to be helpful. It's just like, who paid you, dude? Seriously, who paid you? So I thought I would pull up on my video. Oh, I see your text. Do you still plan on going on? Yeah, sorry, it took me a little bit to get going just because everything's so different. And, it's really important for me to make sure that you can see the justice and the A to Z. And I like it if you can see other cool stuff too, but that's the most important. And of course, me and not all the weird shadows on my face that I do have. But let me do my Erica Kirk. Could you believe that video when she's like tilting her head and locking her freaking snake eyes? What a weirdo. That is a good one to break down. A lot of people have broke that down. Nobody's broken it down like Jen and Pumps on the I've Had It. OMG. Jen does the best pantomime of Erica Kirk. You've seen it, haven't you, Anna Bees? It was Sammy. Yeah, that was so stupid. I think he did do Nicole Kessinger too, though. But yeah, I wasn't sure if it was Sammy. I'm pretty sure he did Nicole also and said, yeah, she's clean as a whistle. What's your problem? Nothing to see over here. And yeah, Deception Detective is dropping a new one almost every day. He dropped one today. I haven't watched, but I love his stuff. I really do. And I sent him an email and I asked him, did I ask him to look at oh, you know what case I asked him to look at was Amanda Knox from the Meredith Kircher case. I would love it if he would break down her statements. But I was also going to ask him to do Sammy from Kylie Rodney's case. It would be interesting if he would do Lindsay, wouldn't it? Or even Jägermeister when he's outside with what's her face? Oh, who was it Kate? Was that her name? I want to say Kate Cunio. Is that right? It just came to me, but that could be something totally different. But I think it's Kate Cunio, right? Because then she had like an Uncle David Cunio, who was a Sacramento County Sheriff's deputy. You knew that, right, Anna Bees? There were so many kids at the party with law enforcement family members, like Nathan Wu. Yes, Kate, I think so, on the last name. Oh my God, Amanda has her own channel. Yeah, I know. And if you want to like have a puke fest, watch it. She's insane. She will not stop making a lot of money, like millions, off of Meredith Kircher's Red stuff. And it is so sick. And the Kircher family has begged her to stop, and she won't. Like a normal person, she's nowhere near normal, wouldn't want to talk about it. I mean, if they lost their friend and then they were put in jail for it, no, they would not want to talk about it. They would want to like breathe fresh air, live life, play with puppies, just appreciate every little thing in life. No, she's such a sick creature. Let's see. Erica's so flippin' weird. No, I didn't see IHIP covering her. Oh my gosh, Anna Bees, I'll put a link in the description. You will totally love it. Okay, so I was gonna look at my video. Sorry to keep flattening the wax. I tried to do it before I started. And I'm drinking hot tea because that helps. And that helps smooth it out, just so that I can talk a little bit more clearly. Okay, so I'm going to try to get into my video that was blocked, but it's not blocked for me. And, you know, I would think that my guess is that they took everybody's video down, because I can't be the only person that was interested in doing that, right? But that maybe I don't have the right ratios, because you have to have like at least half of your video being not the one person's content, I think. But it's also prospective employee. It's also like if they strike you, like some people don't care, like they like Veriscope. He's like, please spread my videos and, you know, add your own comments and show my videos, right? I mean, imitation is the highest compliment. It really is, truly. Okay, so going to that live. Okay, this is it. Yeah, 2 hours and 15 minutes. But, you know, that was one of the things that made me pause. So I did a video the day after, and then it was the day after that that I realized that video was blocked, because I don't think it was blocked at first, because it got like the regular amount of views. You know, I generally get about 50 views a video right now. It got like 40 views. But then it got blocked. Like, I didn't care if it's demonetized. That happens sometimes. That's no big deal. But blocking it, it's never happened. And so here I'm going to play it. Hello, look at me. Okay, I'm going to get to that part where it's the most profound part. Let's see. I've been following a case in England with a NICU nurse who went to prison for supposedly being a serial unaliver. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I really don't think she did it. And Amanda agrees with me. I didn't watch her. Wow. Yeah, I wouldn't want Amanda to agree with me on anything. Really. I mean, she's such a snake, and she's a full-on Trump-loving freak. Which of course she is, because, you know, he can do her favors, and he likes criminals. But that's what the thumbnail said. I'm like, no, I don't want you to agree with me. Well, you know, it's probably a bait and switch, though. That's my guess, because I don't think that there's other people, really. I haven't heard of anybody who doesn't think she did it. But that would be terrible if she didn't do it and she was getting accused of all that. There's a new horrible case, Annabise. Have you heard about the 5-year-old Aboriginal girl in Australia who was kidnapped at the end of April and found her remains 3 days later, and she'd been essayed and not alive? The guy who did it, who they arrested for it, had been released from prison 6 days before he did that. And because she's Aboriginal and he's Aboriginal, the Aboriginal people are in complete revolt because they don't feel like there's justice when it comes to the system and the Aboriginals. So I'm not following the case. I just looked into it when I heard a little bit about it. I was like, oh no, what is this? Oh, and it's so sad because she was 5 and she didn't speak. So she was very vulnerable. She did not speak. And my son, the one who's in the Navy, he didn't speak when he was 5. He was in speech therapy from the time that he was 2, because that's when it was identified at his 2-year checkup. And then he didn't start speaking until like he was 6, basically. So he went through kindergarten, like he went through a half-day kindergarten, the whole school year with, you know, he would literally do like Charlie Chaplin charades and get the other kids to do and say what he needed them to say and do. I mean, it was phenomenal. I loved it. I loved watching him like tell an entire story. It was just like, it was so cute. It was so cute. But because I have a child that did that, you know, Einstein didn't speak until he was 5. Like literally his first words were, "Can you please pass the butter?" And his family was like, "We didn't think you could talk. How come you've never said anything?" And he said, "I've never needed to." He had a big sister like my son did. You know, they have an older sibling that anticipates their every need. So why use more word when few word do trick, right? Why me use more word when few word do trick? To quote the Office meme with nothing bad can ever happen, it can only good happen, right? I'll put that meme in the description links too. Oh, there's a whole bunch of people who don't think she did it. Oh, okay. Interesting. Interesting. Ninja did a video on her. I miss Ninja. I do, but I'm so hyper focused on this damn political crap. Okay, let me see where this is in this. I think the whole operation was very impressive. The only thing you could say is, see, this is the thing. just like with Butler, when he sets up these situations, he's proving the Secret Service to be complete losers and failures. They're not able to keep the place safe. It should have been sealed off before the guy came through, popped through, ran through it, boom, just popped right. Okay.
Administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this.
Okay. I went right to it. So, can you hear it okay? I mean, this is the one part of it that everybody plays. I'm not a rapist. And the way he says it, rapist. Okay, here we go. You can hear him say it.
Longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction?
Okay, those little bumps on his forehead are really starting to form. Do you see them? Right there. And just the way he's, like I said, he's like shape-shifting into a freaking demon. Okay, let me pause this because I think it would be worth your time if you're interested to watch the 40-minute video. I know a lot of people don't want to because he's just awful to listen to, but just to watch the formation of this like rash forming on his forehead, because it's definitely there. It wasn't there at the beginning. It starts and it just gets worse and worse and worse.
I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because
you suck.
You're horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Okay, I'm not a rapist. The way he says that so contrite. I'm not a rapist. Duh. Is even more annoying than his normal speaking. Grade school, LOL. I know. He meant grad school, but his brain wouldn't go there. He went to grade school. And then he probably realized that he wasn't quite saying what he wanted to say, because then he jumps over to Butler in this guy's SAT score.
Do you think he was referring to you?
So he did say it. I'm not a pedophile. He said it twice. So we'll play a little bit more of it. It might be a birthmark. My daughter has a spot on her forehead from birth that only shows when she's mad or upset. And I've seen that on people, Annabise. I don't think that's what it is. Have you seen the movie There's Something About Mary? And the guy, Chris, plays the character that's all obsessed with Cameron Diaz. And he drives down to Miami, Florida to like stalk her. And he starts getting all these boils. That's what it reminds me of. Because yeah, I've seen that, but this is not that, in my opinion. And I would love your opinion. But laugh my butt off me? Is that what LMBO is? Laugh my butt off?
I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap.
He said that twice. I'm not a pedophile. I'm not a pedophile. Say it a third time and it comes true. It's like casting a spell, you freaking devil. Now, they're just... He's a genie, you know? Okay, I got to read my notes on my receipt here. Okay. I guess I didn't see it when I watched it. Well, yeah, if you're looking for it. And of course, you can't really see it on that video that when I did my live because of the glare. Maybe I'll play just a little bit more of it. Starting to form the little bumps in his like third eye. But look how his brow is getting really tight. And then it like becomes like acne. I'm not kidding you. Like freaking big white head, juicy pimples by the end. I'm not kidding you.
From some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me.
I got associated with stuff that has nothing to do with me. Okay, I was going to pause it and say, I got associated with stuff that has nothing to do with me. But I also want to say, I am exaggerating when I say they turn into whiteheads. It looks to me like they are almost turning into whiteheads. I don't think I quite see whiteheads, but there were a few points in time when I was like, well, maybe it is beads of sweat. Like, that's how weird it is. But yeah, I got associated with things that have nothing to do with me. So he's only mentioned in those Trumpstein files like a million times. You know who else is mentioned thousands of times is Woody Allen. Yuck. Jasmine Noor did a deep dive on Woody Allen a day or two ago. Really good. And he is gross. Make it make sense.
Totally exonerated. Your friends on the...
No, you can't be exonerated until you're convicted. You first have to be convicted of a crime, and then you get exonerated, like when your DNA proves that it wasn't you. So when mofos say that they think that they're going to get exonerated, when they use that word, it always makes me think that they're confessing because they know that they'll be convicted. Exonerated is not a... Okay, I'm trying to decide whether I want to keep playing this or not in tonight's live, because I kind of wanted to do a video of, like, I figured if I broke it up into two parts, I want to do the whole thing. So do like 20 minutes in one video of mine that's an hour long, and then do the second 20 minutes in another video of mine that's an hour long, and either playing my own video or reading the transcript. So I think it's important to get that information out there. I really do. And I'm learning too. So, you know, I had some really great ideas. All of the shooters in all three alleged attempts are all brilliant. Like, Donnie Toodles can't be assaulted by some dumb guy. It's got to be somebody with like a genius IQ, right? So the guy in Butler had like a perfect SAT score. And then this guy is like a rocket scientist. And then the other guy, the one that was like around the perimeter of Mar-a-Lago, I don't know what his claim to fame was, but he was a smart guy too. Donnie is so hung up on being smart because he's so dumb. I mean, a lot of people think he's smart, but to me, he's dumb like a fox. Like, yeah, he's conniving, but he's not smart. If somebody was smart, they wouldn't be conniving, in my opinion. So, and I think a lot of his like 5D chess or 4D chess or whatever is sort of like the cat when it falls off the counter, lands on its feet and was like, yeah, I meant to do that. That's him. That's what he does with everything. Like, yeah, I'm just playing 4D chess. And it's like, no, you're just the freaking cat falling off the counter, but you land on your feet because you got all these sycophants around you. Oh my goodness. Anna B, did I send you that picture of Donnie that I saw this? I saw a Fox put this post out of Donnie, and I thought whoever put this post has got to be somebody trolling him and making fun of him. And then I saw that it was Fox. Here, I'll show you the picture if I can. It's so crazy. There. Okay. Let's see if I can get you the image. Can you see? I don't think you can really see how big his hip looks down here. It's like bulging. And I mean, he just looks, and not to body shame anybody, but I don't think it's his body. I think it's his diaper. It's here, right there. But he looks so huge, like he's just ballooned. He might really be dying, huh? He really might be dying. But it says, breaking, President Trump announced that the U.S. military will begin escorting, and it's talking about the ships. Trump announces Project Freedom, humanitarian effort to guide ships through the Strait of Hormuz. And I thought, who is this trolling him and making fun of him? And then I'm like, wait, it's Fox News. This is for real. This guy is so weird. And him and his freaking hand job hand, like, that is the worst, isn't it? Always with the hand job hand. And you can't tell me that's not what it is, because he makes it really obvious that that is what it is. I'm going to just show this one more time, see if I can get the glare out. I mean, look at that hip, baby. He is curvy, voluptuous, the voluptuous president. Okay, enough of that. And the other thing with these braces is I smack my lips a lot, and I don't like doing that. Can't type tonight. I can kind of see LOL. So, all right. What do I got here? And so this is me just being slapstick comedy. Like, why didn't he have the guy shoot his ear again? Why didn't he do the blood thing again? It was so much more dramatical with the red. This had no blood on anybody. And what happened to the guy's shirt? I still don't understand how he was like standing up, sprinting with his weapons, and then what, he tripped and landed on the floor and lost his shirt. My husband was like, well, maybe they thought he was shot, and so they cut his clothes off of him. I mean, I think that's a good guess, but yeah, it doesn't seem like he got any shots out. It seems like it was friendly fire that hit the Secret Service guy. And those Secret Service people are like goofing off. Like, they're not even paying attention. And then one shoots another one. They're trained to assassinate people the instant that there's a threat to the president. Like, they're just completely incompetent. I mean, I wouldn't think that they're that incompetent. I mean, a lot of these people that do those jobs, sure, they can be hacks, but they also live for the action, right? They love the action. What else do I have here? This is important. This is important. Decoding Fox News. What did I write decoding Fox News for? I don't know what I meant by that. Okay. Enough with my tiny receipt of notes. It was so awful. So this might just be a short one, Anna Bees. I mean, I can stay on if you want to have a longer live, but I was just dying to come on and say hi and get the ball rolling and talk about the censorship with that video. Let me see. I looked up the transcript. Let me see about that. And we don't have to do the transcript reading tonight. We could do it like tomorrow or something. But we are on right now, so we might want to take advantage of it. Depends. What time is it? It's like midnight. I'm okay. What do you think? I'm glad you came on. I missed you. I know I missed you too, my dear. If they were actors, they did a good job of making them look incompetent. Touche. Very true. So let me look up the transcript again. Transcript. And how come we're not seeing any more of Amanda Ungaro or the Victoria Drake transcript of Nora O'Donnell? And man, they're just relentlessly trying to get Kimmel fired. It's ridiculous. It's like they just can't take no for an answer. Okay. So this is the full transcript. Let me just maybe read a little bit and see if we want to keep going with it or not. Mr. President, thank you for doing this. Thank you. I'll do the voices. I'll do the talking to myself. Nora, I'm glad you are safe. I'm glad that everyone is safe. How are you doing? I'm doing well. It was quite an evening. It was a very difficult thing to watch, frankly, but doing very well. Mr. President, do you know if you were the target of the gunman? I don't know. It sounded to me, I read a manifesto, which is he's radicalized. He was a Christian believer, and then he became anti-Christian, and he had a lot of change. He'd been going through a lot based on what he wrote. His brother complained about him and I think reported him to the police, and his sister likewise complained about him. His family was very concerned. He was probably a sick guy. Should I keep going? I kind of feel it. What do you think? I'll stay up as long as you are on. Okay, cool, girl. Let's see how much of it we can get through. We can try. Let's do the whole thing maybe. And Nora says, and I want to get all of those details and also walk through this, what happened last night. But first, this appears to be the third attempted assassination on your life. The first in Butler, the second, of course, on the golf course in Florida. Why do you think so many people may be trying to kill you? So I've said it numerous times, and I actually, because of the position that I'm in, I've done quite a bit of research into the word assassination. Terrible word. And they go after consequential presidents. They go after presidents that do things. If you look at what I've done, we've turned this country around. We've taken a country that was actually a dead country. It was dying very rapidly, and it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. We had a skirmish, a war, whatever you want to call it, with Venezuela. We won that very decisively, and now we have a great relationship with Venezuela. It's been a very profitable relationship, and we're in Iran right now. Other presidents should have done it, but they never chose to do it. They should have. They made a terrible mistake by not doing it. It's tougher now than it would have been 10 years ago or even 5 years ago because, they had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything else, and we didn't do the B-2 bomber attack. That alone was a big deal. The killing of Soleimani, which I did in my first term, was a big deal. But when you're a consequential, when you do things, a lot of things, and things that work out very well for our country, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. McKinley was assassinated. McKinley made the country very rich. People don't realize that. Then Teddy Roosevelt went out and spent the money that was made by McKinley. But he was very consequential, actually. But he was assassinated. So, Nora, you mentioned, Mr. President, consequential. Your policies are also controversial. Is that part of it? Well, I don't think that way. I don't think in terms of what they are. I just think of what they are for the country. For instance, I've inherited the worst border we've ever had in history of our country, where 25 million people came in, 25 million people at least. Is he talking about ever? Like over the course of 200 years? I honestly don't know. But I'm thinking that the reason that they have 0 people crossing the border is because they're not tracking them. Kind of like when he was saying that we have so many cases of COVID because we keep testing. We just need to stop the testing and then we won't have the cases, right? Like that's the way this dumb mofo thinks. Oh, so smart. Maybe he was a Manchurian candidate. Exactly. It was about got the country out of the Depression. Yeah, and so there's 2 Roosevelts. It gets confusing because there was Theodore Roosevelt and then FDR. So Theodore Roosevelt, I think, is in the Mount Rushmore. He's one of the 4. And then it was FDR that was one of the presidents. I think it took like 15 years to do that. You know, they had to like go in there and use sticks of dynamite to blow up the rocks, and they chipped them away. And then they just like left all the pieces of rocks at the bottom of the sculpture. It's a cool sculpture, but then there's just all this like gravel left there. It's weird. Like I would have thought that they would have like scooped it up with some of those what are they called? The front loaders, like the excavators, you know? Because it looks really ugly. Like the giant gravel chunks just all at the bottom of the sculpture is weird. It's shocking. Like you don't expect that until you get there. Have you been there, Annabise? Agape love, hello. I guess it depends on what Roosevelt he was talking about. Hey, all, is this serious? You got censored. That is awful, Jazz. Yes, I've been there. Yeah, me too. I was there in my 20s. So what did you think? If you want to share. So Agape Love is Granny Annie, correct? And I'm just reading the transcript of the interview. So, you know, no other content creators, I don't think, have broken down the interview, the 40-minute interview, which is what I tried to do last Thursday, or I did do it in a 2-hour and 15-minute video, but now I'm the only one that can see that video. And most people don't want to watch the 40-minute interview. They just watch the 12-minute edited version, which is understandable, but I think it's a fascinating interview. So I'm just reading it as a way of having it documented and hopefully not having it censored again. Yes, I've been there. We are Agape Love. Oh, you are? Wait, no, now I'm confused. It's not both you, is it, Annabise? Are you being schizophrenic or MPD, multiple personality disorder? Okay. let me keep reading here. 25 million people at least, and many of them were from hardcore criminals. And they were drug dealers, and they were from prisons. They emptied out prisons into our country. They had mental institutions, insane asylums into our country. And I don't know if that's controversial to say we have to move those people out, but we have. But it is from the standpoint, if you're doing something and you're doing something good, things like men playing in women's sports, how on earth does he get to that from there? WTF? Things like dudes. Dude look like a lady. Yeah. No, it's not me. I think it's Granny Annie, but I could be incorrect. If Agape Love wants to chime in, please feel free. I'm against that. Things like transgender for everyone. I'm against that. There's so many things that I'm against. Oh, it's too funny. Drink some tea. I don't think they're controversial. I think the other side is controversial. But I do a lot of things and I get a lot of things done. And we're respected now as a country all over the world. And some people love that, but some people probably don't. Nora, Mr. President, I'm sure you now have the opportunity to see some of the pictures of what happened last night. I have. And I want to walk through that. Sure. It was just around 8:30 p.m. You were sitting there next to the First Lady. The entertainer named Oz Perlman is talking to you. Do you know that Oz Perlman is Israeli? Not even joking. He's known as the mentalist. When did you know something was wrong? Right around that point. In fact, you can see the expression on the First Lady's face, and your president of the evening, chairman or president or both, who is doing a great job, by the way, Hua Jingjiang, CBS News. Your associate, yeah, she was a terrific person. And she was, she had this big smile. I mean, they were, what they were doing. They were asking the name of Caroline's child that he didn't know, I guess, but he was able to get it. Your press secretary is expecting, and he was trying to guess the baby's, that's right, name. That's right. And that was the question. That was what he was actually able to get it. I'm not sure I'm a believer in this, but he was able to get it. And the First Lady and your associate were amazed. You could see and that was the shock on their faces. It wasn't the shock about something outside. But right after we heard that, we heard a big bang. And it was either a gunshot or it was a tray of dishes, which happens a lot in ballrooms. And I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't. You mentioned the First Lady, her face. She looked very alarmed. She was. Was she scared? Well, I don't want to say, and people don't like having it said that they were scared. But certainly, I mean, who wouldn't be when you have a situation like that? By that time, I think she realized ahead of time. That it was more of a bullet than it was a tray. Yep. She realized it before it happened that it was a bullet, right? I think he gets people wanting asylum confused with insane asylums. I agree, Annabise, 100%. 100%. I'm glad you said that. Yeah. I mean, there were criminals that Fidel Castro would ship boatloads. He would empty their institutions of the most dangerous, craziest criminals and ship them to Florida. One of those is who red rummed Mia Zapata in Seattle in 1993. That guy, Jesus Menuza, or whatever the F his gross name was. He was one of those people that Fidel Castro dumped into our country. So that would happen with the insane asylums, but I completely agree. I don't think he realizes that there's two different types of asylum, that you have people seeking asylum, totally different. I think he gets people wanting asylum confused with insane asylums, which they haven't been called in the last 40 years precisely, except for the late, great Hannibal Lecter, right? Okay. I mean, who wouldn't be when you have a situation like that? But by the time I think she realized ahead of time that that was more of a bullet than it was a tray. And I looked at her face just a little while ago before I came. I saw this scene. They played it for me, and pretty good close up. And she looked very upset about what just took place. Why not? That's so weird. Why not? That to me is him trying to sell it. Like, oh yeah, she was very upset. I mean, why wouldn't you be in a stage situation like that? Nora, you see the security moving quickly, within seconds, grabbing the vice president by his coat, lifting him up, bringing him out. Then the counter assault comes in. Took 10 seconds for them flank you, Mr. President, and then 20 seconds to get you out. It looked chaotic. At one point, you were down. What was happening? Well, what happened is it was a little bit me. I wanted to see what was happening. It's like a little kid. No offense to little kids. I wanted to see what was happening. God. It's so staged. And I wasn't making it that easy for him. I wanted to see what was going on. And by that time, we started to realize maybe it was a bad problem, different kind of a problem, bad one, and different than what would be a normal noise from a ballroom, which you hear all the time. And I was surrounded by great people, and I probably made them act a little bit more slowly. I said, wait a minute. Let me see. Wait a minute. So, I'm telling guys to, just at the moment where it looks like you go sort of down with the service, you were telling them to wait. Well, they asked me. Well, I know what happened is then I started walking with them. All the hedging, as we're getting trained, Annabise, from Veriscope about hedging, when people interrupt themselves and keep cutting themselves off because they're lying and they don't like the direction that they're going. That's what he just did there. Hold on, I'll reread it. Well, they asked me. Well, I know what happened is then I started walking with them. I turned, I started walking, and they said, please go down on the floor. So I went down, and the first lady went down also. But we were asked to go down by the agents I was walking. In other words, they wanted you to almost crawl out. I was standing up pretty much. I was standing up and then turned around the opposite direction and started pretty much walking out pretty tall, a little bent over because I'm not looking to be standing too tall. But I was walking out. I was pretty about halfway there when they said, please go down on the floor. Please go down on the floor. So I dropped to the floor. So did the first lady. It's ridiculous how he has to mention her. And I want to rewatch it. I bet she doesn't. Nora, what was your thought that at that moment? What did the first lady say? Well, my thought was, I've been through this before a couple of times. He was going to say hundreds, if not millions, because the way he exaggerates. And she has not to this extent. She handled it great. I mean, she's very strong, smart. She got it. She knew what was happening. She listened. I did too, by the way. Because this was the first time she was, when they said, when they said, drop down, that meant trouble. And obviously I'm the president. It's so unreal, the crap that falls out of his mouth. It's so much more obvious what word salad it is when somebody else is reading it, because I think we're all just adjusted to expecting the word salad to fall out of his mouth. That meant trouble. And obviously I'm the president, and I listened to what they said. Please drop down, sir. Please drop down. So I was walking halfway, then I dropped down at the final, because we had a little ways to go where you're exposed to the ballroom surroundings. And then I got up and we went to a hold room for a while, and I tried to get them to continue the event if possible. You wanted to go back in, Nora says. I did. I really did. Because I don't like to have a criminal or a sick person or somebody, whoever he is, they'll figure it out. I mean, well, I think we're already figuring it out. He's a man with a lot of problems, but you don't want to have somebody like this, essentially attacking our Constitution, attacking our country, changing events that are, it's an important event. It was a very important, Nora jumps in, a night celebrating the First Amendment and the freedom of press. Trump, that's right, exactly. And this was a record setter. I mean, this was a very big, that dinner had some problems for the last 9 years, and now, and I didn't help them. And this time I went, I felt really good being there. I need some chapstick. I think I have some right behind the laptop, but I can't see it. I can't see through the laptop, but there it is. Ta-da! Right where I thought. Let me take a break for a second and put on some chapstick. And drink a little bit of tea. Where should I put that so I can see it for the next time? He's so stupid. I wonder if anyone really ever called him sir. Well, his niece, Mary, says that whenever he tells the sir story, that the whole thing is made up. I like that hot tip. And, the thing is, when law enforcement is in a life and death situation, they cuss. They'll say, like, get the fuck down, I mean, they don't have the professional decorum when there's a life and death crisis. They curse a lot. I mean, they're human. And they always curse when it's a tight situation like that. Yeah, he is so full of shite. Okay, where was I? That's right, exactly. And this was this was a record setter. I mean, this was very big. You know that the dinner had some problems for the last 9 years, and I didn't help them. And this time I went and I felt really good being there. There was a great camaraderie. I wasn't sure what the response. It was, a lot of press, a lot of media. Really? The correspondence dinner? Weird. And when I walked in, I got a very nice applause. I wasn't sure. I said, told my wife, I said, I may walk in and they may give me a hard time, or I may walk in and let's see what happens. He gets a lot of booze. But of course, they're going to be professional that night, in my opinion, of course. Because it was a big deal. And everyone was expecting some shots to be fired, right? And I walked in and I feel like Yogi Bear. And I walked in and I got I think they were happy to see me there, actually. And I can tell you there's the biggest impact that I saw in the entire evening. And I say this being somebody that's had a lot of, let's just say we've argued a little bit to get things that I want done. I fight for a border and they fight for an open border. And we have a lot of differences over talking, Nora. You've got some tough words for the press, she tries to say. But he says, but there was tremendous by this time the events had taken place. People were starting to feel safe. That's so weird. Just all of a sudden, people were feeling safe before. By the time the events had taken place, they were starting to feel safe. But he's talking about before the events happened. Right before that, he's talking about when he walks in the room. By this time, the events had taken place. People were starting to feel safe. That's weird. So he wants to just skip the whole story. He literally is just going from walking in, then the events take place, and then people are starting to feel safe. He doesn't want to go into details. I walked in and got I think they were happy to see me there, actually. And I can tell you there's the biggest impact that I saw in the entire evening was, and I say this being somebody that's had a lot of, let's say we've argued a little bit to get things that I want done. I fight for a border and they fight for an open border. And we have a lot of differences. And she tries to say, you've got some tough words for the press, but he cuts her off. But there was tremendous, by this time the events had taken place, people were starting to feel safe. Dementia Dawn. But see, that's the gaslighter. They don't want to go into detail because it's all lies. There's no detail to go into, really. There was a tremendous camaraderie. I mean, I saw Democrats, I saw senators, I saw congressmen and women. He just is like doing like the NK thing, right? Like in all of the Veriscope videos. He's just distracting. He's trying to take you down a different path rather than talking about, and then I was sitting here and then I saw this and then this happened and then I was so scared. The way you would talk about something that was real. He can't do that. He has to talk in real generalities. I saw congressmen and women. I saw people that weren't necessarily on my side, from the other party mostly. Pretty much the Republicans are on my side, so I'm not that, surprised. And they were going, way to go, way to go. There was spirit in that room. Remember when Melania said mean-spirited twice in her ridiculous presser about I know Fook Epstein. I know make Fook with Epstein. That announcement. I never made Fook with Epstein. So she said mean spirit twice in that. I think he says spirit twice in this. It kind of just makes me think that they're into like, my mind just goes to like the black magic, the Titanic stuff, the Smix magic. There was spirit in that room, and I mean, it was like the whole country was together. It was pretty amazing, and it made a big impression. It was very nice to see. Do you think this will change your relationship with the press? Well, look, for whatever reason, we disagree on a lot of subjects. We talk about crime. I'm very strong on crime. He's strong on crime, not strongly against crime. He's strong on crime because he's a strong man and he's a criminal. And somebody had to ruin their night. Exactly. Yes, I remember Melania's speech. Yeah. It was so weird that she used the word spirit, but both times she used it, she said mean spirit. And yeah, it's just terrible when the meanies come out and bully the first lady, right? I'm very strong on crime. It seems like the press isn't. It's not so much the press, it's the press plus the Democrats, because they're almost one and the same. It's like the craziest thing. I have the strongest border we've ever had in the country. As you know, it's at 0 people for 9 months came into our country through our southern border. We have a very tough border. Before me, 25 million people came in. I mean, whether it's 20, 25, or 30, but they say 25 million people came in, 0 people. We have people coming in legally. And then he's talking over Nora. She's trying to say, can I ask you something? You said something. But the other side doesn't like that. There are things that I like that I think are very standard. I want women to be able to play women. Why does his brain go right there, Annabise? Riddle me this, riddle me that, please. I have no idea. He's crazy. He cray. We have people coming in legally, but the other side doesn't like that. There are things that I like that I think are very standard. I want women to be able to play women. I don't want men in women's sports. And for whatever reason, the other side likes men in women's sports. So when you say get along, I can't, but Nora says, but that's the other side. That's not the press. And Trump says, I don't think I could ever know, but I don't think I could ever change my feelings on certain policies. I want strong borders. They want open borders. There's such a difference. What a weird thing to say. One is open, one is strong. Yeah, that's different. Nora says, can I ask you, Mr. President? And he cuts her off. I will say this, though. After the event, meaning it looked like things were good, we knew he was caught. I was given the information immediately. There was a camaraderie that you just have not seen in a while. It's very nice to see. Again, no details about like what he was doing when he found out that things were safe. You know, because when you're in a real stressful situation like that, your senses are heightened and things slow down, and you're very methodical about what happens next, because you know that a bullet could go whizzing by and nick you on the ear or something. I mean, there's no way they could have known so quickly that it was a lone gunman. There's just no way. What could they ask him? Are you a lone gunman? And he says, yeah, I'm a lone gunman. Like a real criminal, if he was a real criminal, would tell you. Oh no, there's like 20 guys. Let me tell you where they all are and tell you their names, their addresses, and their phone numbers. Okay. What the fuck is he talking about exactly? We knew he was caught. I was given the information immediately. There was a lot of camaraderie that you've just not seen in a while. It's very nice to see. He's just trying to say everybody loves me. So we're in this crisis situation, and then everybody loves me. Nora says, the president, Mr. President, the vice president, the Speaker of the House, the Secretary of State, Secretary Hegseth, almost the entire line of presidential succession was in that ballroom. Who was the designated survivor? Well, first of all, I have to say it's not a safe ballroom. I'm building a safe ballroom. And one of the reasons I'm building it is exactly what happened last night. We're building a room right there. If you walk out and move 20 yards to the left, you'll be right at the entrance of the ballroom. And that ballroom is being built on the safest piece of property in this country, probably one of the safest pieces of land in the world we have. Nora says, I think that's the White House. The White House Correspondents' Dinner can't use White House property. So he doesn't even know this. Like, of course he doesn't know this, but he tries to act like, yeah, I knew that, but you know, I do what I want. So his response, right, it would take a while. Yuck. If they were all deleted, the next in line would be Mike Johnson. Well, I think he was there. There was like some 93-year-old guy who wasn't there, who would have been the leftover one to be leading. Seriously, 93. So he wasn't there because it was past his bedtime, I'm sure. I forget what his name is, but it was, I think, Heather Cox Richardson who was talking about that. President Donald Trump says no, but it's able to be used by certainly the White House. It says the White House Correspondents. Well, that's the White House press. I'm sure that it is available. You know, it's up to the president, but that would be made available. And this has bulletproof glass. This has, you know, the highest level of security. And very importantly, I could have built suites on top. I could have done a lot of things. And I said, no, this has to be pure. Like virginal pure. This has to be where people stay off property. And they go through one very impactful, very strong entrance, one very powerful entrance. Impactful entrance? I missed that. There's no games with this. This is the best, highest. It has all sorts of security equipment at levels you could never have in a regular ballroom. And we're ahead of schedule. We're right on budget, ahead of schedule. I wish it could be even sooner, but we're, months ahead of schedule. But it doesn't open till 28. So, that means we have another season and a half to go, Nora says, right? He cuts her off, but this is exactly why the military, and this is exactly why the Secret Service and all law enforcement want it. because you have maybe 1,000 hotel rooms above the ballroom we were in last night. And I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying in terms of maximum security, it's not the best thing. You can do it, but you can have problems like this. They have an elevator that comes down from the rooms that's very close to the ballroom, which makes sense. So we're doing something that's going to have a tremendous impact on solving this problem. Nora says, in that video, you can see a gunman running through the metal detectors, and he fired off 1 or 2 rounds. Trump says, yeah, his speed was rather incredible, actually. He was like a blur. Nora says, how did he get that close? Trump's like, well, Nora says, with the place was swarmed with security. Trump says, I will say, I say it because I'm a big fan of the people, of law enforcement. And some of these people, they may be crazy, but they're not stupid. And they figure things out. He ran 45 yards, they say, and he just went to it. And then boom, he popped right through. A thing like that could happen. I would say this, having the equipment on the outside of the building maybe is better than having it on the inside of the building. Sometimes that's tough. Sometimes it's horrendous weather. Sometimes it's pouring. It's raining. It's lots of things happen. But maybe less. It was actually quite nice. The weather was beautiful, so maybe something like that has to take place. I can only say that from the moment they realized that he ran like, I think the NFL should sign him up. He was fast. When you look at it on tape, it's almost a blur. Nora says, right. But it was amazing because as soon as they saw that, you could see them draw their guns. They were so professional, aimed their guns, and then they took them down immediately. The doors were sealed. The room was sealed. The ballroom itself where the people were. And they really, I think they did a great job. Nora says, I was in the room not far from you, Mr. President. Could hear what sounded like gunshots or commotion. People nearby could smell the gunpowder. Everybody hit the floor. There were a number of people who were very, very scared. How worried were you that there were going to be injuries? I wasn't worried. I understand life. Smack my head. How worried were you that there were going to be injuries? I wasn't worried. I understand life. We live in a crazy world. You can really enhance your chances of having a perfect situation, but sometimes things will happen. I did want to see what was happening because I'm the president. In one way, I guess I should be hiding. I'm the president. In one way, I guess I should be hiding. Okay, I just gotta let the brain come back to life. That just about killed it. OMG. So we're at an hour and a half. My voice is starting to hurt. I wanted to get at least to the point of contention. So let's see if we can get to that point and then do the rest of it tomorrow, maybe. Okay. I'm going to read that again because it made my brain go dead. I did want to see what was happening because I'm the president. In one way, I guess I should be hiding. In another way, I want to see if I can be helpful. But I did watch because I could see what was going on at the door. I also saw a lot of very strong, physically strong, really attractive law enforcement people come through those doors. Sounds like they were pretty hot, huh? If he thought it was real, he would have shit his pants. Oh, I'm sure he shit his pants anyway, Annabise. Whether it's real or not, he's shitting his pants every day, I'm sure. And again, I don't like to make fun of that because my mom wore an adult diaper, and that's just part of being human. But she wasn't president either, and she didn't try to hide the fact that she wore adult diapers. See if he could be helpful, LOL, because he's so helpful, because he's so accountable, Okay. But I did watch because I could see what was going on at the door. I also saw a lot of very strong, physically strong, really attractive law enforcement people come through those doors. And frankly, it made me feel very safe, very, very safe. There was nobody going to get by them. And this was the very back of the ballroom, looking at the back of the ballroom. Big room. Really? Is a ballroom a big room? Sort of like when he was talking about Puerto Rico when it got wiped out in that hurricane. And he's like, it's an island surrounded by water. A lot of water. Which is why he took all the paper towels. I gotta read that last sentence again because that's effing hilarious. And this was at the very back of the ballroom, looking at the back of the ballroom, big room. Nora says, yeah, the counter assault team that comes in, Trump says, yeah, they were very impressive. I think they were very impressive. I think the whole operation was very impressive. The only thing you could say is maybe they could move that counterpoint out deeper. Okay, that is opposite talk. If he's talking about moving the counterpoint out, that's the opposite of deeper. If you're going to move it in, that's deeper. So that's crazy. And sometimes there's a misspoke, and we all do it, right? We all have a misspoke, like McQueen. But it's just hilarious. Move that counterpoint out deeper. Out. In other words, move it to the outside of the building. Could you explain out? What's the definition of out? Nora says, let's talk about that, Mr. President. I wonder how much has the Secret Service and the FBI briefed you about the suspect, Cole Thomas Allen? Have you read what a senior U.S. official is describing to us as a manifesto? Yeah. Did you know that he emailed it to family members? We found all that out this morning with that. Nora says right before the attack. Trump says, yeah, we found that out this morning. And the family members were concerned. I think the brother called up the police. I think the sister may have called the police. The parents were rather devastated. He lived with his parents. I saw the parents last night on television opening the door. I assume it was the parents. Look, you have sick people and you have to mitigate the risk. But some of these sick people, it's amazing. They're very sick, but they're also, in some cases, very, very smart. He went to a great school. Wait a second. He went to a great school. He went to grade school. Is that what he said? He went to grade school. That's funny that they put a great school, because he said grade school. We could all hear it. But that would have, maybe that's what he was trying to say. So they corrected it for him, you know. Just like he sued ABC for doing with Kamala's edited interview. See if he could be helpful. LOL. He cares so much about others. Yes, he said grade school. He went to a great school. They fixed it for him. So forget about it. Forget about it. I can tell you, the person in Butler, I don't know if you ever looked at his academic credentials. He had almost 1,600 on his college boards. 1,600, nobody has. I mean, that's the upper 99.9 percentile or something. And he was a crazy person, but a smart, crazy person. I think the law enforcement did a great job last night. I'm ready to yawn. Excuse me. Okay. I'm almost to the point where we can, where he freaks out, and then we'll wrap it up. I just want to get to the part where he freaks out. Yes, he said grade school. So funny. And then instead of saying grad school, they said a great school. So they changed it even more by putting the A in there that he didn't say at all. They could have just changed it to grad school. Nora, let me ask you, Trump. I guess if they didn't, I wouldn't be here, but I think they really did a great job. Now, can you make adjustments? We're also learning. Can you make adjustments? I think the only adjustment would be you move your security equipment further away. But it was about 50 yards away. 50 yards is a lot of yards. It's more than 49. More than 48. It's more than 47. Okay, enough of that. Now, when a guy's running at that speed, he was a very fast person, and he got him by a little bit by surprise. But that didn't matter because he was totally subdued very shortly after he passed at one point. Nora says, the so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He wrote this quote, administration officials, they are targets. He also wrote, I am no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that? Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody. Nora. Oh, do you think he was referring to you? I'm not a pedophile. Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that because I'm not any of those things. Man, he just lost his shit. Should I break there or should I read a little bit more of the arguing? I kind of want to do both. What's your vote, Anna? Should we stop right there? We're 1 hour, 40 minutes, or should we just read a couple more minutes? Excuse me again. So rude. It is almost a quarter after 1. Hello, Patricia. I started checking to see you were on a few times starting at 8 p.m., then around 9. I figured you couldn't make it for some reason. How long have you been on? No, I didn't come on till like 11. I first set it for 11:15, and then I pushed it back a couple of times, just a few minutes to, get stuff situated, and then started at, I think it was 11:26 when I started. I believe it was. And yeah, I'm third yawn, third strike and you're out. But you're here. So what should I do? Should I stop reading right there or should I read a little bit more since Patricia just came on in? He was saying that they had a night of love. No, keep going if you can. Okay, well, like I said, I said it was up to you. So, hey there, Patricia. Missed it by 26 minutes. Oh, but see, Ohio time, West Coast time. So, yeah. Excuse me. That's good that I'm tired. I sometimes stay up really late, with my husband being on the graveyard shift so that we see each other and stuff, What are you reading? So I'm reading the conversation that I tried to dissect in that video that got censored. So I'm reading the transcript of Norah O'Donnell's interview with the Trumpster fire the day after the staged assassination attempt. No, I stopped cheating at 9. Stop cheating? What are you cheating? She's reading the transcript of Nora Roberts' interview. I know, I want to say Nora Roberts all the time too. It's Norah O'Donnell, isn't it? Who's Nora Roberts? Isn't she like an author or something? Okay. Let's see. And I want to say Nora Jones a lot. No, I meant O'Donnell. Yeah. I know, because O'Donnell is Lawrence's last name, but I guess they share. Lawrence O'Donnell is one of my favorites too. I really like his weighing in at the end of the day. I'm really bummed when he doesn't weigh in at the end of the day because he does take a lot of days off. I think he gets so sick of it, and he's old, and I don't think his health is doing too well. Okay. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with little, say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto, he's a sick person, but you should be ashamed of yourself reading that because I'm not any of those things. Mr. President, those are the gunman's words. And I was never, excuse me, you shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead. Let's finish the interview. The other thing that he wrote in you're disgraceful. The other thing in the manifesto that I think is worth looking at in terms of determining his motive is he had been staying at the hotel since Friday. Wasn't the hotel like $3,000 a night or something? Teachers don't have that kind of money, even if they do live with their parents. Okay. I'll go ahead in replay and watch the whole video, I want to hear why you think your video was snatched. Well, I think that they just don't want this bad interview out there. I'm surprised that you can watch the 40-minute interview. I'm surprised that there's the transcript. I was wondering why nobody else was breaking down the interview, but my guess is that a lot of content creators probably did make videos breaking it down that got blocked. It'd be interesting to know. I can't imagine that other people weren't breaking it down. But I had wondered that when I did my breakdown, I wondered out loud on the video, like, why aren't other content creators doing this? Like, I feel like I have to. And then with it being blocked, I think that answers my question of why it looked like other content creators weren't doing it. That's what I think. She was so composed, wasn't she? She was amazing. She's a true professional. A true professional. The other thing in the manifesto that I think is worth looking at in terms of determining his motive is he had been staying at the hotel since Friday. He checked in. He said he had cased the place, and he wrote, "What the hell is the Secret Service doing?" And he wrote this quote, "I expected security cameras at every bend, bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out the wazoo. What I got is nothing," he wrote. Like, this level of incompetence is insane. Sir, you have already had 2 attempted. Well, he was pretty incompetent too because he got caught. And he got caught pretty easily. So I'd say he was pretty incompetent too. You know, I can take any event having to do with security or anything else. I can always find fault no matter what. I can take a baseball team that won the game 18-0 and say they should have played better. Those guys did a good job last night. They did a really good job. Now, do they make adjustments? They do. They learn. They make adjustments. We're living in a different world with the internet than we had years ago. How does he go from there to there? Riddle me this, riddle me that, ladies. So he goes from freaking out that the manifesto said that the security was incompetent to baseball games to the dinosaur time before the internet. Okay, sure. Sure, Jan. I find myself thinking that a lot this last week when I'm watching crap about this. Sure, Jan. But even years ago is very dangerous. I mean, just ask Honest Abe Lincoln. Again, how the F does he go from the dinosaur stone ages with the internet to Abe? Make it make sense. But even years ago is very dangerous. I mean, just ask Abe Lincoln, Honest Abe Lincoln. Pretty dangerous. But we are living a very, the internet, I think maybe more than anything else, it's radicalized some people. It's made people mentally sick. It's also a great thing. It's a phenomenal thing. We're the leader in it. We're the leader in AI. It's a great thing. But you'll always find problems, but it's a different age. It's a very different time. Oh my God, it's just exhausting, isn't it? He's like NK from the Watts case. He's just so exhausting. These people, these gaslighters that just gaslight all day, every day. It's all they do. It's ridiculous. Okay. Nora says, I mentioned that because, again, his motive, you brought this up. He had social media accounts that had anti-Trump and anti-Christian rhetoric rhetoric, and anti-ballroom. No, I'm just kidding. I love the I hate ballroom written across the 4 or 5 shell casings with the Sharpie. I hate ballroom. Too funny. I am fading, you guys. I am going to need to wrap up. So let me just read a little bit more. Keith Edwards says he's been getting videos blocked and he's been shadow banned. Oh, and he got I want to read a little bit more here. And then I don't want to forget, I want to go to a post that Aaron Parnas put up, that he got an email telling him to stop doing what he's doing. I'm sure it went to Keith Edwards and to everybody. Yeah, absolutely. Keith Edwards being shadow banned and blocked. Yeah, I'm sure we all are. You just said they were incompetent. Is the Nora video still up? I want to watch it. Who interviewed her again? It is still up, and if you just Google the Nora O'Donnell interviewing Trump, it'll come right up, even though she's been interviewing him for years. It'll come right up to that one. But it's 40 minutes long. And is it on ABC? It's probably on a lot of the channels, but I put a link to it in the description of the video that's blocked. So I'll put a link to it in the description here too. Okay. So yeah, I want to read you that Aaron Parnas post that he just put up today. Okay. Okay, so when she says he had social media accounts that had anti-Trump and anti-Christian rhetoric. So Trump says, you should read, why don't you read all the anti-Trump? Why don't you read it? You just did, so why don't you read it? Like, that is just such weird bullying. Such a weirdo. Nora says, well, he had a lot of anti-Christian rhetoric. He was part of a group called the Wide Awakes. Of course he was. He had attended a No Kings protest in California. Of course he did. President Trump, no kings, yeah. Nora, what did security tell you about what may have been his motives? Well, see, the reason you have people like that is you have people doing no kings. That doesn't make sense. That sentence doesn't make sense, you guys. I'm going to cry. I'm going to read it again. It's going to make me cry. It's breaking my brain. She interviewed Little T about the supposed assassination attempt. Yeah, I saw an interview from like 10 years ago too, I think. I don't remember what it was about. I'm too tired to remember nothing. Oh, wait, I saw that. Sorry. Read it. I dare you. Read it, bitch. Go ahead. You did it anyway. It's like he's fighting with her, man. The one where she said to Donald, oh, you think they were talking about you? Yeah, I already read that part. We just passed it. Okay. I don't know if you saw my leg. I'm wearing shorts because it was hot today. Okay. Let's see. Now I'm sitting differently. I'm kind of perched like a little birdie. Let me read a little bit more. This is so crazy. We'll see. Okay, so she said, what did security tell you about what may have been his motives? And Trump says, well, see, the reason you have people like this is you have people doing no kings. I'm not a king. What I am, if I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you. No, I'm not a king. I don't laugh. I see these no kings, which are funded just like the Southern Law was funded. You saw all that. Southern Law is financing the KKK and lots of other radical, terrible groups. And then they go out and they say, oh, we've got to stop the KKK. And yet they give, hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars. Nora says they were, and he cuts her off. It's a total scam run by the Democrats. It shows you. Okay, she asked him what could be this guy's motive. So he goes to the I'm not a king, to the KKK. So he really likes K's. Kings and K's. Okay. It shows you that, and then he goes, like Charlottesville, which is just so funny. Funny, not funny. Charlottesville was all funded by Southern Law. That was a Southern Law deal too, and it was done to make me look bad. And it turned out to be a total fake. It basically was a rigged election. Like, he just lost his shit, man. His whole brain just melted. Because this is right after, Patricia. This is like, you came in right after that part where, the crucial part. That's exactly halfway through the interview. So the interview is 40 minutes long, and it's like right at the 20-minute mark. So I do want to get to a wrapping up point because we're getting to the 2 hours and I'm tired. I love you guys. You're the best. Yeah. And yeah, that is the best part. Oh, you think it's talking about you? So I don't understand why that particular video was blocked. Can you quickly tell me, bees? It's okay if you can't. Well, I think that because he's so dumb in this interview. But if you just watch the regular interview, you're used to him being all crazy and talking all over the map and the word salad and the jumbled everything. But when you break it down, it looks even worse. So that's why I think it was blocked. It's supposed to be that you can use other content for fair use for educational purposes. So they just don't want it out there. I mean, I broke it up a lot. I gave a ton of commentary. I had other stuff. I had 2 other videos in my video. I did a lot of talking. I talked for 20 minutes or more before I even started the video. And then I broke it up every 12 seconds to talk because it was just so cray. You could say goodnight now. Oh, thank you, Annabise. I'll just read a tiny bit more. You were red, so I asked bees. They don't want you analyzing it. No, because it's so crazy. Sarah Della, hey. Yes, this is why censorship media needs 5 likes. Oh, and right, before we wrap up, I was going to read you Aaron Parnas's. So yeah, we'll stop here at the Charlottesville it's a total scam run by the Democrats. It shows you that, like Charlottesville was all funded by Southern Law. That was a Southern Law deal too. And it was done to make me look bad. and it turned out to be a total fake. It basically was a rigged election, like autopen, Obama, Obama. Okay, so we'll get back to this tomorrow, and I'm going to look at that Aaron Parnas thingamabob and show it to you. View channel, post. Okay, this was yesterday, his post. It says, I got an email from a MAGA Republican today telling me to stop. My response, no. And so he shows the email. It says, Mr. Parnas, can you please stop harassing us on social media? You're part of the problem. We don't need your mindless, senseless, insane babbling of things you don't know any more about than anyone else. Excuse me. It's funny because he made any more one word when in that sentence it should be two. Not to be the word police, but I'm pretty sure. And that's pretty easy. Tell me what you guys think. You call yourself a journalist, and all you appear to be doing is repeating something you've heard, read, or seen elsewhere. Where I come from, that's not journalism, that's gossiping. We see and hear the same things you do. Please stop immediately, all caps. Enough, all caps. Thank you. Kevin Peters. Aaron responded with, I won't stop no matter how much you want me to. Thank you, Aaron. OMG. Oh, I always rewatch. Oh, thanks, Sarah. You're awesome. Did you share with me what part of the country you're in if you want to share? I'm always curious. Yeah, pens make all the decisions. Sure. Yes, they don't even like emojis. Word police, terrible. Yes, censorship bad. I will never stop. I live. Thank you. Pleased to meet you, Sarah. I'm Trish. Oh, Patricia. I never thought of you as a Trish. Good to know. I always think of you as a Patricia Moss. I used to be in Wyoming. Now I'm in California. What part of California? Northern, southern, central? I love California. I love the smells of Southern California. There's like a lot of tropical smells there. Very nice smells. I mean, to me, that's the best thing about Hawaii was the tropical smells. And in Ohio, we get a lot of good smells, especially in the spring and summer. And it gets kind of tropical here. I love Monterey. Oh my goodness, Monterey is insanely amazing. Oh, and you're in Sacramento. So not far from the Kylie Rodney case. I always think of as Patricia too. I will call you Trish now. All right, you guys, my eyes are starting to burn. I'm surprised it's only 1:30. You can do a stretch. I don't want to yawn anymore in front of you guys. I think I've already yawned like 4 times. Oh, and it looks like I'm freezing up anyway. What's going on? I lived in Saratoga and Palo Alto. Saratoga, Florida, and then Palo Alto, California. Palo Alto is so nice, and Saratoga is really nice too. Yeah, and the SS case men buried in backyard. Wait, what? I'm not sure what you're referring to, Sarah. Do tell. Good night, everyone. Sleep well. Oh, Saratoga, California. Saratoga, right. I thought you said Sarasota. I get it. I know Saratoga. My friend owns a restaurant there. Social Security case. Aha. All right, you guys, I got to say goodnight before I fall asleep right in front of you. So thanks for watching. Peace out. Drink your water, eat your protein, and just try to get fresh air and sunshine if you can. And hopefully see you tomorrow night, like say 8. We'll try to make it earlier so that we can go for a while without the yawning. I don't like to yawn.